Good morning, I am Sean Cavanaugh, the head of CMS. Today I want to introduce the new proposed exception to the 2 midnight rule. We have been under great pressure from stakeholders to modify the 2 midnight rule. I'm happy they are only holding stakes and not tomatoes, while we have been clear that the 2 midnight benchmark does not override the clinical judgment of the physician regarding the need to keep the beneficiary at the hospital, to order specific services, or to determine appropriate levels of nursing care or physical locations within the hospital. Some stakeholders have argued that the 2 midnight benchmark removes physician judgment from the decision to admit a patient for inpatient hospital services. We disagree, but, to satisfy them, we are going to allow physicians to use their judgment to determine that a patient needing less than 2 midnights can be an inpatient. This should be rare and unusual and supported by documentation, but we are not going to define those. What does this mean? It means there is no difference between inpatient and outpatient care except when physician judgment says there is a difference. And please remember, you asked for this. So go have fun figuring it out and implementing it. Well, Jill told me I have to take questions from the media. Nina Youngstrom, from AIS Health, you get the first question.
Thank you. When a physician is making an admission decision, they do not know the outcome of the case. But the auditors know that outcome, so they can use hindsight to deny. So my question is, why does CMS not limit the auditors to only considering the information available at the time of the admission decision?
We are under great pressure to preserve the trust fund. Doing that would level the playing field, and then the RACs would not be able to deny as much. Next question.
Hello, Molly Gamble from Becker's Review. Despite the 68% settlement offers, the ALJ system still has a years-long backlog. What are the plans to fix that?
The ALJ system is a different agency. CMS has no control over that. You will have to ask Nancy Griswold. Next question.
I am Dr. Keith Kenneth and this is Dr. Holly Simpson. We are from Indianapolis. Can you tell me if patient notification is required if a hospital self-denies an admission after discharge?
We have heard different answers from different people, and the CMS notices have been unhelpful.
We do not have the subject matter expert here to answer that. Next question.
I am representing HFMAR. Hospitals constantly complain about Medicare Advantage plans making up their own payment rules and denying claims in great numbers. Does CMS have any plans to stop this unethical behavior?
We feel bad for you, but CMS just wants to be sure the patients get the care they need. It is up to you to try to get your money. That is why CMS loves Medicare Advantage.
I am from the American Hospital Association. We insist that CMS adopts this proposal. Physician judgment is the most important factor. They must be able to admit as inpatient.
I am so happy to hear that. Because we are also going to start paying more for observation than for inpatient, so if doctors admit, we save money.
If we get paid more for observation than for inpatient, then we don't want physician judgment. We were just kidding.
That is all the time we have today. I need to go to the office and think of more ways to pay for quality and not quantity. Thank you.
Nurse, Mr. Sparrow was having chest pain. He is a smoker and at high risk. We need to get him to the cath lab right away.
Okay, doctor, we need a status order. It sounds like he may go home tomorrow, so I would suggest observation.
Observation? Didn't you hear me say he is at high risk? I want inpatient.
But doctor.
No buts. I am the doctor. I give the orders around here. Now let's get him admitted as an inpatient and get him to the cath lab right away.
That is some trick he does. Think he will teach me how to do that?
I am sorry, Mr. Sparrow. That is something that only doctors can do. Medicare tells them that their judgment overrides all the sensible rules Medicare has written.
Well, here is a one-day stay for a patient with chest pain who went to the cath lab. The doctor ordered inpatient admission, but this patient went home the next morning. This is a pretty easy denial. High-risk chest pain patients are not rare and unusual, so I am going to deny this and refer this hospital to the recovery auditors for auditing.
Hey master, we got another hospital referral. Let me go sharpen the blades. time to tear apart their admissions. Mwahaha.
Our next speaker is well-known healthcare attorney Jessica Gustafson.
I would advise all hospitals not to look at this as a new exception but rather as a denial track. If they do not give us more detailed guidance on what cases fit here, then it is sure to lead to trouble. Since admission and observation are the same except the length of time, no doctor documentation can possibly justify admission of a short stay. In late October or early November we should see the final rule. So until then, the rule of the land is an expectation of more or less than a 2 midnight stay. Thank you.
Oh hi. This new proposal is really quite silly. Every exception to a rule makes the rule harder to implement. This is not about physician judgment. It is about getting paid appropriately for the care that is provided. I find it disingenuous to mask a payment issue behind the veil of physician decision-making. We should ask Medicare to pay more for observation and not create more exceptions that benefit only the auditors by creating loopholes. Well, if one thing is known, it is that we can never predict what CMS will do. I'm hoping they do not adopt this exception without extensive guidance. Until then, the 2 midnight expectation stands. Talk to you all later. Now I wonder if Dr. Meyerson is going to show up, or do I have to eat both steaks myself?